and the effects of 1857 revolt. All these concepts were discussed during the last session. Dear students, in today's session, let's have some discussion regarding other 4 lessons of history: freedom movement, era of Gandhi and national movement, post-independent India, the political developments of 20th century. We shall discuss these 4 lessons in today's session, and when with regard to the examination, these lessons are very important because we are expecting 4 marks question from this lesson, especially from freedom movement, era of Gandhi and national movement, and the political developments of 20th century. Now let us have brief discussions about these lessons one by one. Freedom movement. You have already learnt about the freedom movement, the various aspects like Indian National Congress, moderates, radicals, division of Bengal, and revolutionaries. These are all the 5 important concepts which we must give more importance. Let us have a look one by one. First one, Indian National Congress. You have already learnt that Indian National Congress was formed in the year 1885. Before the formation of Indian National Congress, we can see different kinds of other associations like Hindu Mela, All India Association, Pune Public Sabha, and the Indian Association were formed. After this, we can see the formation of Indian National Congress. You have already learnt that the Indian National Congress changed the direction of Indian political history, because after the formation of Indian National Congress, the freedom movement of India took a new shape. It was formed in the year 1885, where? At Bombay. Who founded this? A.O. Hume founded Indian National Congress, and W.C. Banerjee was the first president of it. What are the objectives of Indian National Congress? Indian National Congress had its own objectives. First one, to create national unity among the Indians, and also during those days Indians had differences, especially in the field of culture and in the field of society. There were differences among the Indians in cultural and social paths. So, Indian National Congress tried to bring unity among the Indians. Along with this, they started their own newspapers in various local languages of India. Through those newspapers, Indian National Congress tried to solve the political problems of India. In this way, we have to remember these objectives of Indian National Congress. And here in Indian National Congress, we can see 2 groups, mainly 2 groups. One is moderate, another one is radicals. Who were the moderates? Traditionally, the first 20 years means Indian National Congress was started in the year 1885. From 1885 to 1905, that period is known as the age of moderates. First 20 years of Indian National Congress is known as the age of moderates. Here we can see different leaders of moderates: W.C. Banerjee, Ovesha Chandra Banerjee, Mahadeva Govinda Ranade, Surendranath Banerjee, Dadabhai Nauroji, Gopal Krishna Gokhale. These were all the major leaders of moderates. Moderates had their own demands. They put forward some demands before the British. What were they? You saw this kind of questions. Already during the preparatory examination, you saw this question. Who were moderates? What were their demands? Let us have some look regarding the demands of moderates. First one, cutting down of military expenditure. Moderates expected to cut the military expenditure. They gave more importance to the development of Indian industries, and they gave importance to good education, and also They wanted to remove the poverty which prevailed in Indian society. These were all the demands of moderates. Here in this picture you can see Dadabhai Naoroji, very important person, because Dadabhai Naoroji propounded a theory called drain theory. Okay, and Mahadeva Govinda Ranade, Surendranath Banerjee and Gopal Krishna Gokhale, W.C. Banerjee. W.C. Banerjee was the first president of Indian National Congress. These were all the important moderate leaders. But here, after a few years, Indian National Congress was divided into two groups. Another group was formed. The name of the group was Radicals. Here, the soft stance of moderates towards the British made unhappy group within the Congress to call them as political beggars. Moderates were called as political beggars by the radicals because radicals did not like the method followed by the moderates. Radicals criticized the soft stance of moderates. Who were the important radical leaders here? Aurobindo Ghosh, Bipin Chandra Pal, Lala Lajpat Rai, Bala Gangadhar Tilak. Here Aurobindo Ghosh, Bala Gangadhar Tilak, Lala Lajpat Rai, Bipin Chandra Pal were the important radical leaders. Easily we can remember them as Lal, Bal, Pal along with this Aurobindo Ghosh. Aurobindo Ghosh, in the beginning he was a radicals, later he became revolutionaries. And among the radicals we should give more importance to Bala Gangadhar Tilak, because Bala Gangadhar Tilak played an important role in the freedom movement of India. He declared Swaraj is my birthright, I would definitely get it back. Attaining complete freedom was the aim of Bala Gangadhar Tilak and the aim of radicals here, and they wanted to organize the people of India, and they attempted to organize people by employing religious celebrations. Here they gave more importance to religious celebrations, because when we have religious celebration, people can easily join together, assemble together. So, in order to organize the people, Bala Gangadhar Tilak and the radicals followed the method of religious celebrations. They started Ganesha festival, Shivaji Jayanti, Durga celebration or Durga festivals, and also Tilak started two newspapers. One is Kesari, which was published in Marathi language, another one was Maratha, which was published in English language. He encouraged common people to protest against the British, and also his writings made the common people to protest against the British. The writings of Bala Gangadhar Tilak made the common people to fight against the British. That's why British arrested Bala Gangadhar Tilak, but he did not worry. Inside the jail, he wrote a book called Gita Rahasya. In this way, we have to remember the contributions and the role of Bala Gangadhar Tilak in the freedom movement of India. Dear students, another important concept of lesson number 7 is division of Bengal. Bengal was divided in the year 1905. It was divided by Lord Curzon. Why did Lord Curzon divide Bengal? He divided Bengal because the anti-British sentiment was dominant in Bengal, and also it was the main center of anti-British protests. In Bengal, we could see Hindus and Muslims joined together and they were fighting against the British. They were protesting against the British. In order to suppress these developments, Lord Curzon planned to divide Bengal, and finally he divided. In this way, Lord Curzon and the British tried to suppress the spirit of national freedom struggle. But when Bengal was divided, it was severely opposed by Indian National Congress, and also it resulted in widespread protest across the country. And here radicals played a very important role, because they took the issue to the doorsteps of common people. They encouraged the people to protest against the British. They forced the people to protest against the division of Bengal. And also during this during this movement, we can see the Swadeshi movement. Swadeshi movement in the sense they called for boycotting of foreign goods, and also they boycotted various institutions, and also Indians were encouraged to use local goods. With all these developments, the British government decided to withdraw the division of Bengal. Finally, the division of Bengal was withdrawn in the year 1911. So, a last important concept of this lesson is revolutionaries. We have already discussed moderates, radicals, and we have seen their way of fighting, but revolutionaries were completely different because their main aim was to get complete freedom for India. They did not follow any non-violent method or constitutional method. They followed violent methods to get freedom, and also they started secret association within India and outside India, and they provided weapons to the leaders, they provided weapons to the revolutionaries, and they provided money, and they also gave training. And these were all the institutions. With the help of these, revolutionaries tried to fight against the British. Along with this, some secret organizations were formed even in India. What were they? Abhinava Bharata, Anushila Samiti. These were all the important organizations. And also revolutionaries used bombs and guns to achieve their goals here. When they protested against the government, then the government took a harsh method against them. Many revolutionaries were hanged here. Bhagat Singh, Chandrasekhar Azad, Vinayak Damodar Savarkar. These were all the important revolutionary leaders. Along with this, there are other important leaders, like you can see here. In this way, lesson number 7, freedom movement, you must give importance to all these concepts. Okay, dear students, now let us move to another important chapter, chapter number 8, Era of Gandhi and National Movement. Here we expect 4 marks questions. What are the important points you have already learnt? Now let us have brief discussion regarding this concept. First important one, Mahatma Gandhi ji. The name of the lesson itself is the Era of Gandhi. That is why we have to give importance to the life of Mahatma Gandhi ji here. M.K. Gandhi, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. Popularly we call him Bapu. Gandhi ji was born on 2nd October. That is why we celebrate 2nd October as Gandhi Jayanti. In the year 1869 in Porbandar, present Gujarat's Kathiawar district, and his father was Karamchand Gandhi. Karamchand Gandhi was the Diwan of Rajkot state. Putali Bai was his mother. She influenced Gandhi on moral values. After the completion of his education at Porabandar, Gandhiji went to England in the year 1888. Why did he go to England? Gandhiji went to England for law education, and finally he was successful in getting law education. Later he went to Natal of South Africa. Why did he go to South Africa? Gandhiji went to South Africa to represent Dada Abdullah and company. The policy which prevailed in South Africa, this was nothing but a discrimination between the blacks and whites. Apartheid policy prevailed in South Africa. Gandhiji opposed this policy and fought against this policy. That is why he had to stay there. After his return, when Gandhiji returned to India, Indian freedom movement got a new shape. Gandhiji's political guru was Gokhale, and with the suggestion of Gokhale, Gandhiji toured entire India in a third class railway compartment. He wanted to understand the problems of India, and also he started Sabarmati Ashram in the year 1916. Why did he start? In order to solve the problems of India, and also he understood the problems of farmers, Dalit, tribal people, workers, laborers and other sections of Indian society. In the year 1917, Gandhi launched Champaran movement. Why did he start Champaran movement? To support indigo growers. After this movement, British government accepted the demands of the farmers. After that, next year in the year 1918, he started another movement in support of the mill workers of Ahmedabad, made the British government to accept their demands. And in the year 1918, another protest was held in a place called Kheda village, which was also undertaken by Mahatma Gandhi ji, and Kheda village is in Gujarat, and this movement was started mainly to oppose land taxes. In all these movements, Gandhiji started truth, non-violence, satyagraha ideals, and he was successful also. Dear students, another important concept of this lesson is non-cooperation movement. Non-cooperation movement was started in the year 1920 by Mahatma Gandhi ji. Here, what are the important programs which we can see during the non-cooperation movement? Different programs were there. First one, boycotting schools, colleges and courts, boycotting elections to regional legislative bodies held according to the Act of 1919, Montagu-Chelmsford Act of 1919 Act, and also returning all the honors and medals given by the British, nominated members to the local bodies resigning from their membership, boycotting all the government functions, boycotting all foreign goods. These are all the important programs which we can see during the non-cooperation movement. After this, major developments also took place. What were those major developments? Let's have a look. Many senior lawyers like Deshabandhu Chittaranjan Das, Motilal Nehru, Rajendra Prasad left their legal practice. Students boycotted schools and colleges. Congress boycotted the elections for regional bodies which were held under the 1919 Act by not naming any candidates for the election. Many national institutions like Kashi Vidyapita, Gujarat Vidyapita, Bihar Vidyapita and Jamia Millia Islamia Rashtriya Vidyalaya were also established during the non-cooperation movement. Rabindranath Tagore, he returned his knighthood that was conferred to him by the British. He gave it back. Common people and women donated liberally to the Congress. Shops selling foreign goods were boycotted by them, and also they burnt the foreign clothes. Here, the visit of Prince of Wales in the year 1929 was opposed by the Indians. These were all the 7 important developments that we can see during the non-cooperation movement. These are all the important incident which we can see in lesson number 8. Another important event during the freedom movement was Quit India movement. Quit India movement was started in the year 1942. What were the reason for the Quit India movement? The Strafford Cripps Commission, which was sent by the British government, proposed some suggestions. Strafford Cripps Commission gave some suggestions. What were they? First one, dominion status to India. Second one, calling a meeting to draft new constitution. And also it proposed that all states will have liberty to be part of the new federation or not. Proposals of Cripps Mission was opposed by Congress. Congress started a movement called Quit India movement under the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi ji. During this time, they declared, British, you quit India, and Gandhi ji gave a call, do or die. But this movement was started in the 1942, August 8th. On August 9th, all the leaders like Gandhiji, Nehru, Rajendra Prasad, Abdul Kalam Azad, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Acharya Kripalani, Kasturba, all these leaders were arrested and they were imprisoned. No leaders were there. All the leaders were there in the jail. That's why new organizations, they were also called non-Congress organization, took the lead in the movement, and also new leaders came into existence because of these developments. Along with this, we must give importance to three important personalities. Subhash Chandra Bose is popularly known as Netaji. Netaji means leader. He secured 4th rank in the Indian Civil Services exam, but he refused posting because he wanted to participate in national freedom struggle, and also he wanted to get the support from outside India. And also Subhash Chandra Bose did not like the soft approach of Mahatma Gandhi ji. He followed hardline approach against the British. That's why there was a conflict between Mahatma Gandhi ji and Subhash Chandra Bose. He objected Gandhiji's failure to seek foreign help in this matter. Later in the year 1939, Subhash Chandra Bose got re-elected as the president of Indian National Congress. He had to resign due to the differences between Gandhiji and him. He quit Congress, founded his own party, that is Forward Bloc, and also he opposed the war preparation of the British. During that time, Britishers were preparing for the Second World War, which was opposed by him. That's why he was arrested, and the British put him under house arrest, and he escaped from the house arrest and reached Germany. When he reached Germany, there he met Hitler. Hitler promised him to give full support. He gave a speech through Azad Hind Radio. Ras Bihari Bose started Indian Independence League, and he was calling its military wing as Indian National Army. Subhash Chandra Bose became the leader of Indian National Army. Indian National Army was a part of Indian Independence League here. And also with the help of INA or Indian National Army, he called for Delhi Chalo, and also he gave a statement, "Give me your blood, I will get you Indian independence." Planned to attack India through Rangoon. By that time, thousands of soldiers joined with him, and also they were ready to capture Delhi. And also there was a fierce battle between Indian National Army and the British Army. Subhash Chandra Bose died in aeroplane crash. Now we shall discuss the contributions of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. First one, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar had believed strongly that political freedom without social freedom is meaningless. He studied caste system, and also he studied the demerits of caste system. He wanted to give solution to those problems. He worked as a Diwan of Baroda Maharaja. He was the member of Bombay Legislative Council. In order to prove that the untouchables have been denied even human basic rights, in order to give rights to the untouchables, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar started Mahad Tank, Kalaram Temple movements. Mahad is a movement related to tank, Kalaram is a movement related to temple. With these movements, he wanted to give importance, he wanted to give rights to the untouchables here. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar participated in all round table conferences, and when he participated in all round table conferences, he gave various solutions to solve the problems of the untouchables. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar never joined Indian National Congress. He founded his own party, Bahishkruta Hitakarini Sabha, Swatantra Karmika Party. Along with this, he published his own periodicals. What were they? Prabuddha Bharata, Bahishkruta Bharata, Janata, and Mukanayaka. When the Constituent Assembly was formed, he was elected as the chairman of the drafting committee. And also in the constitution, he gave importance to the equality. In the constitution, he tried to prohibit the problem of untouchability. After the independence, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar became the first law minister of India. Fed up with the caste system which prevailed during those times was not liked by him. That's why he decided to leave Hinduism. He left Hinduism and he became the follower of Buddhism, through which he tried to oppose the caste system, but he had remained part of the culture of India. Government of India honored him with Bharat Ratna award posthumously. Jawaharlal Nehru was the first Prime Minister of India. He also actively participated in the freedom movement. In the year 1929, he became the President of Lahore Congress session. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru entered national freedom struggle through Home Rule movement, which was started in the year 1916. And also he actively participated in the non-cooperation movement, which was started in the year 1920. Later he became the President of Lahore Congress session. Along with the Subhash Chandra Bose, Jawaharlal Nehru started a Socialist Congress party in the year 1934. He is considered as the architect of modern India, and also he was responsible for the integration of India. The integration of India was undertaken under the leadership of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel is popularly known as Iron Man of India because he was successful in uniting India. Here, the integration of India was also undertaken under the leadership of Jawaharlal Nehru. During those time when we got independence, 562 princely states were there, and Jawaharlal Nehru along with Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, they were successful in bringing all the princely states of India together. And another important contribution of Jawaharlal Nehru is language based reorganization of states. He gave more importance to industries. According to him, only complete industries can bring the development. For the overall development of India, Jawaharlal Nehru brought 5-year plans. He introduced 5-year plans. 5-year plans were first introduced in Russia by Joseph Stalin. The same kind of 5-year plan were introduced in India under the leadership of Jawaharlal Nehru. And also with these 5-year plans, he tried to develop infrastructure and heavy industries of India. And also he gave more importance to atomic energy, and he formed an association, he formed a group under the leadership of H.G. Baba, through which he tried to improve the atomic power of India. When the world was divided into two groups, he did not join any kind of groups. He started his own movement. That movement is called non-aligned movement. He was responsible for the starting of Panchashila principle. Panchashila principles were signed between Jawaharlal Nehru and Zhou Enlai, then Prime Minister of China. Dear students, in lesson number 8, you have to give importance to this concept. Now we shall move to lesson number 9. The name of the lesson is Post-Independent India. You have learnt the important developments that took place after the independence. What are they? Problems of post-independent India. India had to face many problems. Those problems have been given here. Junagadh, Hyderabad, Jammu and Kashmir and Goa. After independence, India faced many problems. What are they? First one, communal fire. Second one, integration of princely state was a major problem here. And India faced a problem especially in the field of economic system, and India had to prepare its own constitution to run the country, to run the administration. It had responsibility to protect that freedom from other countries. Along with this, there were lots of discrimination in the Indian societies. India had to find a solution to this discrimination. India had to bring social equality. These are all the problems which India faced after independence. And here when we got independence, there were different princely states. Almost all princely states agreed to join Indian Federation, but 3 states, Junagadh, Hyderabad and Jammu Kashmir, refused to do so. First important state which refused was Junagadh. Junagadh was under the control of Nawab, and he signed agreement to join the state of Pakistan, but majority of the people wanted to join India. That's why the people of Junagadh protested against him. After this protest, the Nawab of Junagadh ran away from the kingdom. After this, the Diwan of Junagadh requested the Indian government to send military force. Military force was sent in order to maintain the peace and law in Junagadh. Finally, in the year 1949, Junagadh joined Indian Federation. Another important state which refused to join Indian Federation was Hyderabad. Many princely states were there. Hyderabad was the largest princely state here, and it was under the control of Nizam. He wanted to remain independent. At the same time, communists and the farmers of Hyderabad revolt against the Nizam and the Zamindars because of exploitation. And there were a group called Razaks. They were very cruel. That's why the people were angry with this cruel group of army, Razakas, and these Razakars were patronized by the Nizam. They were supported by the Nizam. That's why the people of Hyderabad were fed up with the rule of Nizam and the cruel activities of the Razaks. Government of India sent military force to fight Hyderabad and defeated Nizam, integrated Hyderabad in the year 1948. In this way, Hyderabad also joined India. Jammu Kashmir, the procedure of merging of Jammu Kashmir with India is different from other princely states. During that time, Jammu Kashmir was under the control of Hari Singh. Hari Singh also wanted to remain independent, but during this time, Pakistan instigated the tribal Muslims to invade Kashmir. The tribal band of people, they attacked Kashmir. During this time, India wanted to attack on Kashmir, but unless the king agrees to join India, the military force of India could not enter into Kashmir. But after few days, it was Hari Singh agreed to join India, and finally he joined. Later, Indian army attacked the invading tribal soldiers and they tried to draw them out of the valley. At this time, the issue was sent to United Nations organization. One part of the Kashmir remained with the Pakistan, and India complained against this. The occupation of Kashmir by Pakistan was complained to UNO by India. On January 1st, 1949, UNO issued battle truce. The northeast part of Kashmir that was occupied by Pakistan continues to be with it, and still it is called Pakistan Occupied Kashmir or POK. In this way, the integration of Jammu and Kashmir is different from the integration of other princely states. Another important state here, Goa. You have heard about Goa. In the first lesson itself, we have discussed Goa was the capital of the Portuguese. There was a movement against the Portuguese occupation of Goa. Though they were ordered to vacate Goa, Portuguese did not vacate. Along with this, they brought army from Africa and Europe, and they wanted to check the protest here. Satyagrahis from all over India entered Goa, declared the exit of Portuguese from Goa in the 1955. The Indian military force entered Goa, took over administration. Finally, Goa was merged with Indian Union, and it was earlier it was a union territory. In the year 1987, Goa became the 25th state of India. in this lesson we expect 1 mark or 2 marks question. Till now we have discussed the history of India, but in this lesson we are discussing the history of the world, many important events that took place during the 20th century. All those developments have been included in your textbooks. What are they? First World War, reformation of Lenin, reformation of Stalin, Hitler and his Nazism, Mussolini and his fascism, Second World War and the Chinese Revolution. First World War was fought in the year 1914 to 1918. What were the reasons for the First World War? First important one, there were constant wars among the nations of Europe, and the industrialization, the invention of new technologies were also another important reason here. All the nations of Europe, they were trying to have control over market of the world. They wanted to control the resources of the colonies. And another important reason was rival alliance. We can see two types of alliances here, Triple Entente and Triple Alliance. Triple Entente was formed by England, France and Russia, and Triple Alliance were formed by Germany, Italy, Austro-Hungarian nation. Another important reason for First World War was aggressive nationalism among the countries of Europe, and the immediate cause was the assassination of Archduke Francis Ferdinand. Who was he? He was the Prince of Austria and he was murdered by the Serbian. And what were the effects of First World War? First World War came to an end in the year 1918. After the end of First World War, a treaty was signed. The name of the treaty was Treaty of Versailles, and it was considered as an humiliating treaty with regard to Germany. As per this treaty, Germany was humiliated. Treaty of Versailles was signed in the year 1919. The empires of Austro-Hungary and Ottoman empires lost their existence because they supported Germany. And here Germany lost most of its geographical area because of this Treaty of Versailles. A wave of change swept across the Europe. The physical map of Europe completely changed, and new and small countries came into existence in Europe. And also, in order to stop the Second World War in future, League of Nations came into existence in the year 1919. The main aim of League of Nations was to stop the Second World War. And also, the German industrialists exploited the unemployment, negative economic growth for their benefit. Germany had to face a lot of negative growth and faced unemployment. These were utilized by the German industrialists, and they provided financial support, and also this paved the way for the growth of many dictators like Hitler, Mussolini, others. Hitler became the dictator of Germany, whereas the Mussolini became the dictator of Italy. The arms manufacturers of France, England, Germany and USA made profit out of this. So, these were all the important effects of First World War. Now, we shall discuss about the contributions or the reforms made by Lenin. After the revolution in Russia, Lenin became the president. When he became president, he brought many reforms. What were they? First one, he declared that land belonged to the farmers. He implemented political and economic policies, and also he gave more importance to free health, schooling and also residence. And another important contribution of Lenin was the implementation of Karl Marx scientific communism in practice. This was considered as a historic movement in the human history. After Lenin, we can see Joseph Stalin. Joseph Stalin became the president of Russia after the death of Lenin. Joseph Stalin was responsible for making strong Russia. What were the contributions or reformation? when he came to power, he wanted to build USSR as strong as USA. And also the 5-year plans were also introduced by him in Russia. With the help of 5-year plan, he made Russia very strong, and also he launched the first satellite in the history of human civilization. Yuri Gagarin became the first astronaut of the world. After the Second World War, USSR assumed the leadership of communist countries under the leadership of Joseph Stalin. And also Joseph Stalin supported many independence movements that took place in Asia, Africa, South America and other countries of the world. In this way, Joseph Stalin gave many contributions for the growth of Russia. Another important concept of this lesson is Hitler. Hitler was a dictator of Germany. He was responsible for the Second World War. After the First World War, Treaty of Versailles was signed. As per the Treaty of Versailles, Germany had to face humiliations because there were many conditions. Nazism advocated that the Germans are the superior race of the world. They are the only fit to rule the world. Jews are the reasons for all the problems of Germans. Apart from Jews, communists, socialists and Catholics are also the reason for the problems of Germany. According to Hitler, all these were the reason for the downfall of Germany. And also he declared that they are all unfit to live. Catholics, socialists, Jews, they were unfit to live, and also he implemented these policies inhumanly. He appointed a minister called Goebbels to spread the theory of Nazism. A cruel army named Brown Shirts was formed for this purpose. To spread the theory of Nazism, Brown Shirts was formed by him. They were given training to spread the violence so that the people became confused and they accepted their ideology. People of Germany had to accept the theory of Nazism because they were confused here, and finally they accepted. These were all the theory of Nazism. Nazism destroyed Germany. Benito Mussolini was the dictator of Italy. He started fascism. What are the features of fascism? Ultra-nationalism, idea of destroying the other national forces, patronizing violence, racial superiority, expansion of national boundaries and support of human executions. Here Mussolini and Hitler, they joined together and they were mainly responsible for the starting of Second World War. After the Second World War, we can see different kinds of changes here. What are they? The world never saw such a misery and death in the human history, and also it changed the social, political and economic changes in the world. In the place of League of Nations, United Nations Organization came into existence on 24th October 1945. The winning countries, they became the permanent members of UN Security Council, and here after Second World War we can see the conflicts between USSR and USA. That conflict was called Cold War, and many Asian and African countries became independent after the Second World War. They got a chance to get independence. England, France and other European countries lost their most of the colonies because they lost their resources. After Chinese Revolution, many changes took place. What were they? Community farming was introduced. All were provided with free health education and other facilities. Importance was given to science and technology. Leap Forward program was introduced in China. Private property was converted into public property, and also the cultural revolution should be mentioned here. These were all the effects of Chinese Revolution. Dear students, in this lesson you have to give importance to all these concepts. Who were moderates? What were their demands? Explain the role of Balagangadhar Tilak in the Indian independence movement. Explain the role of revolutionaries in Indian freedom movement. List out the programs of non-cooperation movement. Explain the achievements of Subhash Chandra Bose in independence movement. Explain the major achievements of Nehru as the first Prime Minister of India. Explain the achievements of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Explain the Quit India movement. Explain the major developments that took place during non-cooperation movement. What were the problems faced in independent India? How was Goa liberated from Portuguese? The accession of Jammu and Kashmir is different from all other accessions. How? How did Junagadh join Indian Federation?